Ever wondered what Ecclesiastes chapter 3 is all about? Verse 1 tells us there's a time for everything under heaven. Verse 2 highlights a time to be born and a time to die. Verse 3 speaks of a time to plant and a time to uproot. In verse 4, we find a time to weep and a time to laugh. Verse 5 mentions a time to embrace and a time to refrain. Verse 6 reminds us there's a time to search and a time to give up. Verse 7 emphasizes a time to tear and a time to mend. Verse 8 speaks of a time to love and a time to hate. In verse 9, we ponder what gain there is in all our toil. Verse 10 reflects on the burdens God has laid on humanity. Verse 11 reveals that God has made everything beautiful in its time. Verse 12 encourages us to find joy in our work. Verse 13 states that enjoying life is a gift from God. Verse 14 emphasizes that what God does endures forever. In verse 15, we learn that what is has already been. Verse 16 reflects on the injustices found in the world. Verse 17 assures us that God will judge the righteous and the wicked. Verse 18 reminds us of the common fate of humans and animals. In verse 19, we see that both share the same fate, death. Verse 20 states that all come from dust and return to dust. Verse 21 asks if the spirit of man rises upward. Finally, verse 22 concludes that enjoying life is our lot.